Chris Hall is an ultra cyclist who's finished Badlands 3 times, cycled across Australia, and come top 10 in the national 24-hour time trial champs. In this video, he's going to go through 10 things that he hates.
Number 1, foil blankets. I understand why people think these are an amazing thing for an emergency situation, but I hate them. And this is annoying me doing this. I'm doing this for you, Francis. That is a big reason why I hate them. They're so noisy. You wrap yourself up in one of these. Yes, you look like Ziggy Stardust. I don't know if you can hear me. But every time you move around, you hear. The second reason why I hate them is once you've unfolded it, you just can't get them small. It's still huge, right? So it's basically a one-use policy thing. A lot of people take these for ultra races and they use them always at night instead of using it for an emergency situation. So my hatred with them is relying on them. It's an emergency product to be used in an emergency situation, not a guaranteed thing that you should be using every single time because it's horrible.
Sorry to interrupt your scheduled programming, but today's video sponsor is Styrkr, and they've just released a brand new product.
Inspired by the Marathon Bar. So it's a limited edition protein bar inspired by the Marathon Bar, which I think in the UK we call the Snickers.
Styrkr have never made a protein bar before, so if you're going to come back from a ride, you need some protein quickly, and it's 22 grams, you eat one of these bars. Well, no.
Is it good?
They are vegan, they are gluten-free, and you can get 25% off your first purchase and a link down below. Do it!
Comments down below if you think this packaging is the best packaging Styrkr have ever done, and tell them if they should transition to this packaging in future.
Number 2, handlebar bags. I don't like handlebar bags. It might be controversial, but I don't like them, mainly because they damage your bike. Unless you have them positioned perfectly, they're gonna rub on your head tube, damage your frame, scuff it up, ruin it. Just don't use them.
Do you want to go and see a frame that's got damage on it?
Yeah, we got one. Yeah, that's exactly it. That is the reason why I can't stand them. This is exactly what we're talking about. That has scuffed it right back to the carbon. That's dangerous, and it looks rubbish. Unless you have a black bike. We could solve it by only riding black bikes. This is number 3. Air canisters. It's unnecessary. You don't need to carry air canisters. Just take a little trap pump. You can get a pump now, which will do a better job at pumping your tyres up and will tell you the PSI. There's a little hand pump that we showed in a previous video, which works fantastic for pumping your tyres up. For me, it's about waste. This is unnecessary waste, is having one of these. It's quite an annoying thing to carry on a bikepacking trip. The disposable nature of it for me that annoys me. Unless it's laughing gas. So my next biggest gripe is wrappers. And now, why I'm referring to wrappers is, so in Badlands, they were sponsored by a nutrition company. Throughout the whole route, you would find wrappers of gel wrappers, bar wrappers, whatever it was. So if you've got a lovely bar like this one,
That'll do.
that's all right. Just make sure you put the wrapper in your pocket. I know I've got a mouthful of stuff now. Sports nutrition stuff comes in wrappers, it's fine, is what it is. But just make sure you put it in your pocket and put it in your pocket properly. It's not cool seeing wrappers and stuff out in the middle of nowhere, you know, not expecting to find a person, let alone a load of rubbish. This kind of stuff takes years and years and years to deteriorate and to break down. So just please try and make sure it's in your pocket. I don't want to be the person gonna go pick up everyone else's rubbish. And I understand with a lot of packaging like this, you need it because it keeps the product fresh, especially with gels and stuff, so that's fine, completely understand that. There's one brand that I can think of that is wrapping their guava things in like a palm leaf, which you can dispose of the palm leaf. But my only gripe with them is if you buy them, they still come in a plastic outside of the palm leaf. So you still have to throw away the plastic to then have the sustainable thing, which is the palm leaf. Lunch. Number 5 of things that I really don't like. Heart rate straps. It is nothing against the product. They're very, very useful in being able to capture data and allow you to train or ride or understand how fatigued you are. Completely get that. It's more in the context of when you're doing an ultra, something like this becomes really uncomfortable to be wearing all the time. For me, what I tend to do is if I need the heart rate data, I'll record it on my watch. This is a Garmin Enduro 2, which I can basically go on here and start with my heart rate. Now, I will admit that this may be not quite as accurate as a chest-mounted heart rate strap, but it's a metric which you can use, which is ultimately what you need, is a consistent metric. So These become uncomfortable after a while. I wear a watch anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. So number 6, I do not understand why people do ultras with road pedals. There's nothing against the pedal system. It's very, very good, works really well, good pedal efficiency and stuff. But quite often in ultras, you're gonna be walking around quite a lot and needing to be off the bike as well, whether that's going into shops, you know, if it's getting a ferry, whatever it is. So just using an SPD pedal is so much more convenient and useful. They're not really much heavier. You can clip in on both sides, and ultimately you can wear shoes that you can walk in and you're not gonna fall over on. So just use mountain bike pedals, not road pedals. 7, extreme weather conditions. I don't know why I'm using this. I found it here. We're seeing that climate change is obviously causing more volatile temperatures, rainfall, etc., etc. There's something very unenjoyable about being in 45-degree heat, which happened in Badlands in 2021, or being in a flash flood thunderstorm, which happened in Atlas Mountain Race in 2022. So I really don't like extreme weather conditions. There's not much you can do about them. I just don't like them. Is that fine? Rain. Oh, this is from the National Hill Climb. Number 8, bad route planning. I've done this before. I think many people have done this before. You're kind of at the beck and will of all these route planning apps and, you know, mapping programs out there. And ultimately it does happen where you have terrible bits of road that's not road that's not anything, about 20 kilometers of gravel, which we had on our trip once. And ultimately you can't do much about it, but it's really, really annoying. It slows you down. You get frustrated by whatever app or program you've used to plan it, because ultimately you're using that to dictate the surface that you'll ride on. Now, bad route planning is annoying because it can cause things like mechanicals, punctures, extra time that you didn't expend to have to waste. So bad route planning is bad. If you're doing an ultra event or an organized event, you would like to hope that those routes are well planned and well versed. I have done an event once where I ended up walking up a sewage pipe. A really good thing to think about when you're planning your own routes is just use Google Street View. You can double check most of the things. And if there isn't a street view of it, it probably isn't a road. Unless you're aiming for off-road, but probably isn't a road if you are aiming for a road. Number 9, saddle sores. A lot of people do struggle with saddle sores. It's all about good hygiene when you're doing ultras and stuff. There's probably a chance that you're maybe not gonna get to shower regularly or as much as you'd like to. Take some baby wipes. These are little ones from Sainsbury's, sensitive, 60 in a pack. It's a good amount. They're also scented. Oh no, they're fragrance free, even better. Give yourself a bit of a clean down below. Do it twice a day. Ultimately, it's gonna make you so much more comfortable and it's gonna help reduce the chance of saddle sores. I'm also a believer in using stuff like chamois cream. For me, it just helps. It's a way of reducing friction. I know certain people, like Francis Cade, believe it's a lie. But there are ways that you can help improve your comfort and hygiene and ultimately allow yourself to ride for further. What was that? Okay, I like number 10 now. Let's not bother with it. Number 10 is make sure you're well prepared. I've done many events where people have not carried things like this, where I've had situations where I've had people ask if they could borrow a pump. Now, on some events, having external help from another rider, like borrowing someone else's hand pump, would be classed as cheating and you will be disqualified from getting a finishing time. It's very annoying for me as the person that has to lend this to you because it means I'm slower and then you're probably going to overtake me. So please just be well prepared. Think of things like taking a pump, taking everything you need. There's tons of great videos out there where people have gone and broken down everything they've taken for races and trips, use them as resources. There's loads out there.
That is all for today's episode. If you want to give Chris a follow, there'll be a link in the description down below to his Instagram. If you have any questions, put them in the comment section and he's going to do his best to answer them. Thank you for watching and please subscribe to this channel for more.